This is the Town of Swanton regular select board meeting of August 19th, 2025. If everyone would please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Agenda review. Start with Christina.
I have nothing.
Kathy.
I'm good, thank you.
Nicole.
All set, thanks.
Earl.
All set.
All right, Earl suggested, and I agree, we can move the public hearing right up after law enforcement. Everyone's good with that? All right, I don't have anything additional. Nick?
I'm good.
Steve? Okay. Minutes, special select board meeting of August 6th, 2025. Do I hear a motion?
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve. All those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed, so moved. Public comments. This is for anything that is not on our agenda tonight. If somebody has something. No, how about on Zoom?
We have nobody.
Just us on Zoom, okay. Moving right along. Law enforcement's on page 4 of our packet.
What you've got is the July 2025 report. We tried getting in touch with Jim to get some follow-up. You'll notice there's a number that are unlicensed dogs, dealing with unlicensed dogs, and I just wondered what the status of those are. And so when he gets back to us, we'll find out. I'd like a little bit more detail on those. So, anybody got any other questions?
Did some of them dogs go to the kennel that we're contracted with? You don't know?
I don't know. That's one of the questions I'd ask him. I don't think he impounded any of them.
I don't think he did, because he usually sends me a message.
Right. He may have brought one over this past Saturday morning. But that was a dog that was running loose with no tags on it.
Yeah.
And we finally got hold of him. I guess several people got phone calls, both board members as well as myself and Kevin, but the situation was quickly brought under control.
Well, he's been busy.
That's the most unlicensed dogs I've seen in a
Yeah.
month.
Yeah.
It's almost a whole year number.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, there's like 8 of them listed, yeah. Okay. There's no further questions on animal control. We're gonna move right along to the public hearing. Gonna open a public hearing, the local concerns on Bushy Road, Highgate Road intersection. Kyle Grenier, is that correct?
Yep.
Okay, we're gonna let you start the process here.
Great. So my name is Kyle Grenier. I'm the transportation planner at Northwest Regional Planning Commission. The Agency of Transportation provided my office with some funding to take a look at this intersection. It is partially regarding or because of the new garage construction and some of the other things that could be happening at that location in the near future. This intersection feasibility study essentially is just collecting data about what is happening at the intersection, what the traffic looks like, what the geometries look like, and we'll essentially combine a report to look at the feasibility of what changes to that intersection could possibly look like, and goes into a very like cost order magnitude. So nothing really specific is coming from this other than looking at what it will take possibly to move to the next step for planning stages of the intersection. Our time here tonight is really to hear from the select board, hear from folks that are that have attended about their concerns at the intersection, what they see. You know, certainly there are folks here probably who see things on a day-to-day basis, who have seen things over time. So the folks, Jen and Roger from Bowman are here to hear those things, and they're the ones who are going to be putting this this report together for us. So unless you have some specific questions for me or NRPC, I'm gonna turn it over to them to do some prompting and some listening.
Okay.
Great. Should we stand or sit? I'll at least put the board up here and introduce myself, and I'll let Roger do the same. But my name is Jen Desatel. I work for Bowman Consulting. We were formerly called Trudell Consulting Engineers. So if you haven't heard from Bowman, we have been around for a while, 50 years this year. We're in Williston, and I'm the branch manager. I'm an engineer by trade. And we do a lot of work with Northwest Regional Planning Commission, and I love projects like this where we get to do something that's not controversial. We're trying to help the community and just learn more from everyone here about what concerns you might have, if any, about the intersection. And we're just here tonight to listen to those questions or concerns. And so far, where we are with the project is we have done a topographic survey of the intersection. And provided some maps that just show what's there as it exists today. And then I'll let Roger introduce himself, and I'd love to just open it up to hear what concerns maybe people have. And this is the intersection we're talking about tonight, Bushy Road and Highgate Road, which is 207. Mother Hubbard's is up here.
Thank you, I'm Roger Dickinson, and so this intersection is a Route 207 traveling north and south, is a minor collector on the state highway system. This is owned and maintained by the Vermont Agency of Transportation. The intersection presently is mostly a Y configuration, with Bushy Road being a Class 2 town highway heading off to the east towards Sheldon. And we also have a Class 3 town highway, Town Highway 37, that functions primarily as a farm road. There does access a farm some distance away from the intersection. Surrounding lands are primarily agricultural. They are farmed by several local residents, farmers. And the big change in recent history has been the new state highway garage located on Town Highway 37, and they constructed a new road to access that directly from Route 207. And its status relative to Town Highway 37 and whether the town wishes to maintain that road as a viable, usable highway open to the public is something that we certainly would like to see or hear some input on. There are several commercial uses. Gagney's Auto Body, Mother Hubbard's Bakery, a church, and I understand there's future plans for a National Guard maintenance facility on the state land adjacent to the highway garage. So this area is developing. As you enter Swanton, we have several commercial businesses, which over time, as evidenced by some of these other existing commercial entities, is likely to increase, and it's going to create more traffic, more turning movements nearby, and presently, this is a pretty high volume roadway, over 700 vehicles per hour during peak hours, traveling Route 207 between the interstate and Bushy Farm Road. Obviously, a lot of that splits off and heads towards Sheldon on Bushy Farm Road, while the remainder proceeds north. There's as much traffic on Bushy Road, as there is on Route 207 north of this location. In terms of an accident history, over the last 5 years, there were 2 reported accidents to the state Department of Motor Vehicles. One occurred at the intersection, and the other occurred south of the intersection. Unfortunately, the database doesn't give us any details as to what those accidents were, the type or what happened. So that's a nutshell. The sight distances are good. Speed limit, I believe, is 40 or, yeah. But I'm sure the prevailing speed is higher than that.
Yes.
Yeah, very much so. So that's a brief overview of the existing conditions. We did, in our work so far to date, survey to get the lay of the land, locate the drainage features, utilities, power lines, water lines. We also located nearby wetlands and their buffer areas. And other, features or existing conditions such as trees and other vegetation. So this, that I would certainly welcome your thoughts.
Yes, so, thank you very much, Jen, Roger, and Kyle. I think one of our concerns, and I know Earl was in on this early, maybe some other board members, is the alignment between the roads, because it does come in at an angle. As far as town highway that you mentioned, that's a class 4 road, and we intend to block that. Basically, people that need to get onto State Drive or get over to the State Garage, future development out there need to go to State Drive and not take that little road. We don't intend to maintain it to any standard. Again, it's class 4. So I don't know, Earl, you were involved in this early, so. And
Yeah,
Steve was probably on the board too.
I think,
Nicole.
we do have a few small businesses on Bushy Road, but there's a lot of housing development there. And there's gonna be more, so that's part of the reason why, at some point in time, that state road will end up being a town road, and it'll probably be accessing some of them housing developments from there. And then the additional development on the Montaigne side. So it's sort of a short route from Enosburg, Richford, those points for people to get into, the commercial area. So it's gonna see more volumes of traffic, and there's nothing that we actually we kind of like to see that happen, because we want economic growth, and we want Franklin County to be strong. So you can't have your cake and eat it too. But that is a bad intersection, and I can tell you that based on experience.
Steve?
Yeah, just a question so I can understand. When you said 700 vehicles per hour, is that 350 each way?
No,
It's just one way, 700 per hour.
that's the total, two-way volume. In the morning, it's heavily weighted, people coming in
Sure, okay.
towards the exit 20 area. In the evening, it's all primarily outbound.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, it's not a 50-50 during those peak times.
Yes, I live really close to this area, and I know that it really peaks at like 7 o'clock in the morning, and then you always see a car like every 2 seconds, and then it peaks again in the afternoon, of course. And one thing as the traffic grows, as we get more businesses there, do you think maybe a 4-way traffic stop might be something that we might need to look at eventually?
That's certainly something we will be looking at, examining viability of a multi-way stop.
Yeah, I think a light would be maybe too much at this point, but yeah. But
Yeah, I'm not sure that the volumes warrant
warrant a
traffic
light.
light.
But
But again, that's something we can check into.
Nicole? Anything?
No, I had the questions I had already been asked.
Okay. Board members will open up the public. If people wanna speak, just one at a time, please raise your hand and we'll get you a chance to speak. And yes, ma'am.
I'm Carol Hubbard, and I live directly across from the Bushy Road. So you might have only had 2 accidents reported to the state in the last 5 years, but there's been many more than that. I got hit pulling into my driveway. Someone passed me as I was turning left into my driveway. So that's just an example. You said there's a good line of sight. When you stopped at the Bushy Road, wanting to turn left, at that state drive, there's a rise in the road there. So if you're not stopped completely, really nosing out in the road, it's hard to see cars coming, especially when they're coming at 60 miles an hour. Once they go through those lights at the interstate, they go by my house at 60, at least.
And you're talking about at State Road, at that intersection.
At that intersection, there is a rise in the road there.
Yeah, and that's always been there, that's always been an issue, and, so one of the other, I think, to follow up what Carol's saying is, maybe that we need to change where the intersection is just to improve that sight vision. Because it is a real issue, it's difficult.
Yeah. It is.
Yes, sir.
Yes, my name is Liam Kempton. I live right on the corner of Bushy Road and 207. And yes, there's been more than one accident. 2 years ago, my wife pulling in our yard and got whacked because it's the high speed that comes up through there. Just a couple simple questions. One, after all the years from people that lived on that road have come to you guys and complained that that was an issue. Now I want to know why all of a sudden we're having this. Is it just because of the money that might be coming in the area? Who decided on when to put this study in?
Well, here was a theory at the time, the state of Vermont wanted to build their new garage here.
I know.
Okay, and the town didn't have the money in their pockets to do this kind of work. So we kind of leveraged them, as, okay, we're gonna, you're gonna, prime land is gonna be taken off the grand list, help us out a little. And, so this is why this is coming about. And with, the future being what it's gonna be in that area, we gotta get aggressive about it. And hopefully the state will see, the importance of it and continue to help us.
Should the study have been done before they built the state building? Since they're doing all this stuff that's going to be happening in that area, now the National Guard might be building up in that area. It's all commercial property, licensed all the way up to the old motorcycle dealership just down the road. Last year we had a fatality on that road. And now it just seems weird to me that I've known a lot of people that have come here. I actually wrote a letter to the town years ago about that road, and nothing was done. And last year, about 2 years ago, when they were doing the state thing, I came and I asked about the whole intersection being studied. They're like, yes, we're working on that. Now the building is built, now we're doing the study. It's just irritating to hear one thing and then doing something else.
Well, I think there's a lot of people who wish it was done a lot sooner, but at least we're doing something now. And it's gonna have to continue to move forward. So basically what you're telling us and telling our consultants is that's a problem area and we gotta do something about it.
Yes,
Okay,
but why did it have to wait till all the infrastructure was already starting getting there when people were dying, getting car accidents prior to this? When people came to the town and told you about this was an issue back then, other than the fact that, it's out of our budget. Not now. Just, I'm not trying to be that guy, but I just wanted to make sure that my voice is there.
well, your opinion is valid. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Yes, sir.
I'm the new one, I guess, on the road. I'm Kevin Dwyer. I bought Matt's house. I understand and it makes sense, and you're right, the chicken and the egg, the cart and the horse, I'm not sure which was what, but speed on that road. You talk about law enforcement in the opening of the meeting. When somebody there, shoot some radar for a while, please, because they fly. It might be posted 40, but.
Not to interrupt you, which road are you talking about?
I'm on 207, I'm on 2545 Highgate Road. And the speeds are pretty significant. So if you put an intersection in there, it'll probably make it even worse, because they'd be locked up from my driveway to the light. They come through there easily 60, 65. In the morning, someone said at 7 it starts at 7, but there's one motorcycle at 7:10 that goes, I swear to God, if he's not going 130 by the time he gets to 89, but you get a piece of money from him. But the speed is a real issue, and there's far more than 2 accidents, tragic one last year. So I don't know that law enforcement would have changed that at all, but the speed's a real issue on that road. And it might be worth a couple of months of radar, talk to state police, do something. That seems to have gone by the wayside, and no more tickets anymore, I guess. Maybe just mail them in, I'm not sure, but the speeds are high.
Okay, so that's from a couple of you, and definitely something we need to talk to our police chief about.
Thank you.
The hours that the town has police coverage is not in the morning time frame. The state police might help, but we will work with the village, because sometimes they have some special funds where they can spend a couple hours up there, and we'll take that to the
Yeah,
police.
you'll get your money back.
And I generally, I live on the road as well, and I agree with that. Speed, I've been there basically almost my whole life, and speeds are always been horrible.
Yep.
And we changed it to 40, but it's gonna take a while for people to get used to that. They're gonna have to retrain their brain that they can't go
I see
50.
a couple.
And
Yeah.
they're not even gonna slow down to 40. I mean,
Yeah.
we put the signs up, but it doesn't change people who've been doing it for years. And unfortunately, there's so many commuters that come through there. All they're worried about is get into where they gotta go. If they're late at all, they're just flying through there.
But if Bushy Road's gonna be more residential, you gotta slow them down there too, because they're coming in, like you say, from, I don't know, but they go past Mother Hubbard's at 60, so. Thank you.
I'm Elizabeth File. I'm actually from down the road between the Manning and Mossberg farms on Bushy Road. Our concerns with the intersection, it is just no problem with developing the area, but as there's traffic, we're already having significant problems even further down the road with the speeds and with the lack of police enforcement. And as we're looking at that increasing and more people coming down, because it is a route that people use to cut through to get over to Enosburg.
The bypass.
We are seeing people in the early in the morning around 7 a.m. and then at night around 9 p.m. They're hitting it's not the people going 50, 55. There's people hitting 90 to over 100, and there's large amounts of children in these areas and daycares down the road. There's people drag racing, there's people passing on blind corners, and whenever we call in for police, it's this fighting game of is it state, is it town, who's gonna respond, so nobody's patrolling the area. And so with the increase of traffic coming through, that's a significant concern for our community there, and our children, because everyone's right up on the road.
Reggie?
Yeah, so my name's Reg Belleville. I live on Bushy Road also. in that same area that Liz is talking about. There's a couple of concerns. We talked about the intersection. For one, if you're on the intersection getting ready to turn left, you'll have somebody coming signaling to turn onto Bushy Road. So you think, okay, maybe that next vehicle is gonna turn as well, and you start to pull out, and the next vehicle is going straight down 207. Or they're passing. So there's a few times I went to pull into the driveway on Bushy Road, and I happened to look back, and there was a car passing a car behind me. If I hadn't paid attention and I went to turn into the driveway, I'd have got T-boned there. We had a conversation last night, probably about a half hour with Vermont State Police down there, sitting at the Jehovah's Witness church. And they understand the issue, they are shorthanded as well. Having my past job, having to manage the police department, I understand they can't be everywhere all the time. That's a given. But one of the things I do for the state, I teach fire and life safety, but I also teach a community risk reduction program. And in that program, there's the 5 E's enforcement. We try best we can, and I'm not going to deny that they are short-staffed as well. But the other part of that is engineering. Engineering an intersection is one thing, possibly a 3-way stop. I'm not sure if that's going to be the case to help that. But down on 207, down on Bushy Road, we need to take a look at what we can do to engineer, either put up signs, flashing signs at residential areas, slow down, because 40 miles an hour is a suggested speed. I would argue plus 20 down that road. Putting in traffic calming, that's going to be excessive. As far as expense goes, you put in those islands, slow people down like they did in Danville, for example, before you went into that community. Talk about traffic humps, not bumps, but traffic humps. That if you go more than 40 miles an hour, you go airborne, and you understand that you need to slow down. Those are the types of engineering things that we need to start looking at. Because as businesses come in, and that people use that Bushy Road as the bypass, it's 1.2 miles further to go down on 207 to forego Bushy Road, and then a direct shot to the interstate. Because I've tracked it, and it's like, something's gotta be done. But I'd argue some engineering has to be spoken about as well. If you're looking at this intersection, you gotta look at those 2 areas as well for traffic.
Just to clarify, if I may, so the concerns about speed are not just limited to 207, they also include Bushy Road.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
it's
hugely.
More
One of
so
the
on
comments,
Bushy Road.
one of the comments we hear is that from the police is, well, it's been this way, nothing we can do about it.
Yeah, that's,
Okay?
that doesn't cut it.
No, not at all.
It's
Not at all.
Easily 95 miles an hour in firehouse almost every night at 9:30, whether it's in a motorcycle or in a car. Every night. You see lights flash by the window. You can't even tell what it is.
It's just a whoosh.
We've
Daily.
taken video and sent it in. You can't even catch license plate numbers, barely even the colors on them flying by. It's so fast.
Yeah. I mean, you guys know which stretch
Waiting
of
for
Bushy
death.
Road we were talking about between like the ends and Woods.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So it is a very, very long straight road, and our small neighborhood is the speedway. You will hear cars accelerate. We have 2 of our children here with us tonight. My oldest daughter just got her permit yesterday, and we went for a drive, and we're passed on those corners by that new daycare. Passed on the corner because she was doing 38 miles an hour, while a state trooper came up the other side, who then ignored a head-on collision and proceeded on. There is no help on that road whatsoever, whether you tell them, show them, or anything. So to push Reggie's point, speed tables are gonna be needed somewhere to kind of divert traffic to a different road, because they're coming off of 105, because they don't wanna deal with the St. Albans traffic. They're cutting through and making their way to the interstate at exit 20 instead of 19. They don't wanna deal with the traffic lights inside St. Albans, they are cutting across. Whether that's shoot straight across Woods Hill to hit 207 or Bushy Road. They are the 2 inlets, and they siphon right to that interstate. And they are doing well over 100 miles an hour daily. And it's when I get home from work, my wife runs a daycare, I insist that they turn around in my driveway to pull out, because they will be passing in front of our houses. You can't see them as they come, what is it, the Bosberg Farm? What is it?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, so from Woods Hill, you can't see them in time. They are going so fast that, I mean, I'm scared to back my truck out of my driveway because you're looking one way and there'd be two cars coming at you from the other way. So just because it's clear at one point doesn't mean that car doing 95 plus, and that is not an exaggeration. So the traffic needs to be, even though it's gonna pick up, like you said, you're industrializing,
It's
right?
gonna
Like
start here and go down.
we're driving business, which is a good thing. It's gonna boost economy in our little town, but at the same time, it's gonna increase traffic, which we're gonna now see instead of 13 cars doing 100 miles an hour, we're gonna see 35, right? So it has to slow down. How many children are on our road?
There's 13 children living in 4 houses on our neighborhood.
And they're all
And that's not
friends.
counting the 2 daycares that are sitting right in a quarter mile of each other.
And 8 dogs.
And 8, yeah, lots of dogs.
And
But I mean,
Okay.
that's just one neighborhood, that doesn't even count the other developments that I'm sure are experiencing similar things.
So what I see tonight, and what I'm hearing very loud and clear, trust me, and I live on a road where I consider it a speedway, but we don't have as many commuters. And people pull off what's called the James Road, and you can just hear them winding up because they know it's straight and pretty good sight, wide road, and they fly, but not to the level of what you're experiencing. So to me, there's 2 things tonight. One is we've got a speed issue on 207 and Bushy Road that the select board needs to spend more time looking at and what we can and can't do. And then we have this public hearing regarding the intersection. So I think, I don't know, other board member, I think it's loud and clear to me.
Absolutely.
Speed up there is a big issue, a big concern. Appreciate everyone bringing that to our attention. And I know it's been done before. You know, I got some things in my mind that might be able to be done, but then that's going to create problems in another area. So we've got to take a look at it. Brian, let's put this as a agenda item for the second week in September to discuss this some more, the speed on those 2 roads. And then if we could, just 1 second. And then if we could try to finish up with that intersection concerns right at that intersection. So our 3 guests here tonight can get that information, go back and take it to the next step. To answer the question earlier, you know, why is this being done now? I think it was at least a year ago when it was asked to look at that, and that's what it's taken to get to this stage, to look at this intersection. We have other problem areas in Swanton that we would all like to see fixed, but money and other things, they aren't gonna get fixed at any fast rate. But tonight, let's gather the information on that intersection and let's get that taken at least to the next step, Jen.
I just want to say I appreciate you guys making an effort, because we have all called the Swanton and the town police departments and asked them to just come patrol. We have all in that little area offered our driveway for them to sit in. That's how bad it is, that we're willing to take the risk of the mantra that comes with having some cop sit in your driveway. We're like, I don't care, it needs to slow down somewhere. My other neighbor even messaged me yesterday and said, if you tell them that they can sit in my driveway too. I'm like, absolutely, we all have done it. But the result's not there. Like, I've seen a state trooper, I've lived there 5.5 years. I've seen a state trooper on our end of the road besides driving by, park twice, and both times were a Sunday morning, 10 o'clock in the morning, church hour. And the only time I see them park on Bushy Road is at the church on the other end, which is where everybody sees them park. So they wait till they get past that church before hitting the speed limit, accessing the speed limit. We have all reached out multiple times in 5 years, multiple times. It needs to be patrolled at both ends of the street, not just at the church parking lot. Which we did say that to the trooper last night when we sat and talked with him for half an hour. And we do have a state trooper who lives on Bushy Road. So I think that speed exceeds after they get past his house because they know there's a state police car in the driveway.
VN's road.
Yeah, VN's Road is where it really.
Then it picks up, but I think like the kind of the concern with adding a newer, better intersection is that it's gonna be even more enticing.
Yeah.
So I don't think the new and better is intended to speed things up. It's intended to make it safer at that intersection.
At that intersection.
Yeah.
That was kind of like the discussion that we had is that if we're going for safety, like we're trying to make things safer, we have to slow these people down. because nobody's safe, even if that intersection is safer, they're not necessarily just crashing on that intersection. I mean, it's further down the road and the windy turns. When was the last one on Bushy Road? It wasn't terribly long ago, somebody took out the pole right.
Took out the pole this
It's just excessive speed, it's not just that intersection that's unsafe. So we've kinda gotta slow the whole process down, like whether it's put in, you know, like I don't know, an obstacle where the lanes split, come back, or, I mean, they've done it all over the place. There's one on Stone Hollow Road, the speed tables slow everybody down, and they almost kind of avoid that route and go back to the highway. You know what I mean? It's
just a chain effect.
if you're gonna make the intersection better and more enticing for commuters, because they don't have to worry about that traffic on the left coming anymore, they're gonna use that route more. So we're gonna see an uptake in traffic on our road, is how, when I read the meeting and what it was about, was we're gonna get even more traffic because this is gonna be a better route for people. And that's why I'm here, is that we're kind of just inviting more speeders to come down our road more frequently.
I have a question about the intersection itself, being that wide. I've seen cars take that Bushy Road going way too fast. I think if it was more of a T, they'd have to slow down for that. And when they're coming up the Bushy Road, when we planted corn in that little corner piece, they had to stop at the stop sign because they couldn't see. Now they're back at Mother Hubbard's and they're sizing it up and they don't stop. They go right through. So I think the intersection itself.
You're absolutely correct. They come flying and turn right on Bushy Road because it's so easy to not slow down. And that's the alignment piece talked about earlier, is getting it more to a T from both the site and to slow things down a bit there to make that turn instead of the high speed that they can.
And bring it back towards like Gagne's body shop into that field to kind of give you more time.
Well, that's what they're getting hired to look at, is to give some of those options. So tonight, I think the message is pretty loud and clear of the speed issue and the alignment and some of the issues at the intersection. This was just, again, to take public input, and then they're gonna come up with some possibilities, because I mean, if you're gonna make it a T, you've gotta look into, you know, purchasing some land and swapping things, so it's a process, but that's what they're here to take the input and then come back and then share with us what some of the options they think are feasible, of which people will be invited back here to, again, to give input on. Absolutely.
Yes, to follow up on that, as we take your input and assess it and come up with some alternatives for this intersection, there will be another public meeting where we will present various alternatives and again, get your feedback about what you think works or won't work. So this is the first meeting in the process, and so hopefully in a couple months we'll be back.
And I guess I would just like to say this is an impressive turnout, which maybe speaks to some things that aren't going great near the intersection, as I hear. But it's really nice of you to take time out of your busy schedules to show up at this time of the evening and give us some input. It's great. Great discussion.
I appreciate the fact that we're, diverting from the intersection, which is the main topic, but I think it does all kind of meld together.
Oh, absolutely, and we're gonna follow up on that issue, folks. It's quite obvious that it's way too fast out there. And I can't guarantee anything yet, other than I can tell you we're gonna have some more discussion on it and see some things we can do. And we'll have a conversation with the police department here within the next couple days to talk to them about getting out there. And just from a town perspective, we have 50+ miles of roads, so it's very hard to police all of them. And then when they are in a certain area in the evening when they're patrolling and stuff, unless you're looking at your window, you don't even know if they're out there or not. But I like the idea of police sitting in an area for a few hours, certain times a day, and have people pulled over and let them know it's unacceptable. So it's not, yeah, well, that too. And board members, anything else?
I just wanna add that it's very clear from the people that live in that area, and I've been in there, spent enough time around there, I know what they're saying. But the design needs to take that into consideration. You know, if you can design it and come up with ways that are gonna slow that traffic down, is important too. If you design it so it's really quick and easy, people are gonna go 90 miles an hour. You have to slow, you gotta slow it down. That's very clear.
I mean, the state managed to slow down the traffic at the notch
Yeah.
to deter 18-wheelers from going through, but we can't deter motorcycles at 100 miles an hour.
Of course, once you get through the chicane, the road itself, it polices its own speed through there, yeah.
It stops the 18-wheeler from passing.
All right, unless there's something else, folks, thank you all very much. It was some very good feedback.
Did everybody sign it?
And I heard through the grapevine that, was it regional planning that notified the residents?
It was the consultant.
Okay, and you will continue to do that?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Yep.
We'll let you guys have the room back.
Good night. Good night.
Thank you, everybody.
Have a good night.
You too.
Thank you.
Good night, thank you.
Okay, folks, we're gonna move on to orders. The orders are dated 7/16/2025 to August 19/25, 2025. So we don't need to repeat the dates, but we'll start out with the general orders. Do I hear a motion to approve the general orders?
I'll make a motion to approve the general orders in the amount of $309,668.90.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded to approve the general orders in the amount of $309,668.90. Is there any discussion? It's a very significant amount for 1 month, isn't it?
Yeah, well, there's a
Well,
couple of
it
reasons
was a
in
long
it, yeah.
time since the last orders, if you think about it.
Jeff Vansel, that is the house?
Street property.
Yeah, okay, that's what I thought, I just wanna make sure.
And that's something we get reimbursed if
Yeah.
it sells,
Yeah.
right?
But you had some money from, grant money going through there, and then you had to return the money to the state from the,
Loan fund.
yeah, loan fund, yeah.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed, so moved. Highway orders, do I hear a motion to approve the highway orders in the amount of $99,000, $99,634.74.
So move.
Or a second?
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Library, do I hear a motion to approve the library order?
So moved.
Amount of $6,612.36.
So moved.
There's a second.
I'll second.
Motion been made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Highway and general payroll in the amount of $46,087.71 total. Do I hear a motion to approve?
So move.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Library payroll orders, is there a motion to approve in the amount of $10,942.34?
I'll make a motion to approve those.
Here a second?
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Special orders in the amount of $8,555.08. Here a motion to approve.
So moved.
Here a second?
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, or, go ahead.
Bull test, that was for, Green Mountain.
That was for the library?
That's for the library?
Yeah.
Okay. What I thought.
Any further discussion?
Uh,
All those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed, so moved. Highway Department, monthly report. Last 4 weeks, we've certainly talked about the excavating and hauling on Swanton Hill Road. That is basically, well, I'll talk about that a little more in a minute. They've also been doing roadside mowing, some tree removal, continuing preparations for paving. They put some markers on South River Street, which we're gonna talk about in a minute. Doing some vehicle maintenance. They did assist with the water connection for the LVRT. Paving, I expect that to begin shortly. Pike will be doing that. Swanton Hill Road, all work is complete up there except the final grading and paving. Paving bids are due on Friday, and then we'll come back to the board with what the bids are. We had budgeted with our carryover and the 60,000 that we put into this year's budget, around $209,500. Right now, it looks like the work's gonna come in around 160 total. We've got an engineering bill we haven't received. Ledge Tech came in at 70, but actually billed us for 45,000 because a lot of that up there was not ledge. It was filled between the areas that were the ledge, so they were very fair with us. And what's not included is our actual labor hours, but that's the actual money out of pocket to do that project. And then anything regarding the truck hourly rate you would charge for a truck. But overall, we're gonna have a balance there, which will help next year, like with the culvert and some other things. Brooklyn Street, we haven't gotten very far with that as far as the easements. And again, I haven't talked to the village yet, but my preference is we hold off on Brooklyn till next year and we concentrate on tree removal. We have so many trees that need to be taken down. Line striping, L&D has called a few times and they wanted to get going on the striping, but we said early September because we want to get the paving done first. Unfortunately, the state, which does McQuam Shore, has done the line striping. We actually asked them to hold off, but that's a state contract, and even though they said they might, they said sometimes that happens. Well, McQuam is now striped, and,
You know, 2 stripes.
and there's gonna be a that section of it's gonna get paved here in a few weeks.
You're gonna have to restripe it then, eh?
Well, we'll have to decide whether we do or not.
Boy, that new pavement probably better. It'll be pretty black, won't it?
It'll be pretty black.
Yeah.
They striped BB Road today? There's signs up.
BB Road?
There was marker signs up.
I don't know. They might have done county. They shouldn't have gone up BB. Trees, again, we gotta make that a priority. Berry Road culvert design, and not hurting more on East Engineering as far as, where they are with the design. The, pickup, Brian has got all the information entered into the system now, it's on order, right?
Well, yeah, John spent a few minutes in my office last week, took down all the information, who the contact for the town is, I haven't put my stuff in, and so, he said he'd be all set, so that's where we are.
Okay, so what, 4 to 6 weeks, I don't know what.
6 to 8,
6 to
we
8.
don't really know, but, you know, it's.
Well, hopefully we get it before we have to drive it over the salt and everything and
Right.
get it undercoated and get it ready. So South River Street, resident called, and actually was at it, is on the screen as well last week. And it's a very dangerous area. People coming around that corner, if they're not paying attention and they just get close to the edge of the road, their wheels get caught, and already a couple times have gone right across this person's property. Kevin and company did go out and put some markers up, which are just lights that were put in during the bridge repair last year. we put them back up, but it really needs to have a guardrail at least halfway across that property line there. And we got an estimate, and you'll see it in the package. Could be as low as 32.25. If they need some anchors, it's gonna make it up to 54.25. That line item that we're doing Swanton Hill Road on is road improvement, is what we're calling it. I'd really like to take the money out of that and get this guardrail in. They have kids, and it would make sense to have that done before, well, as soon as we can. I mean,
Yes, and then, if there's anything shut down of the bridge, because of repair reasons in the future, that's gonna be a big plus, a real big plus.
Yeah, and again, we got the money to cover this.
Yeah, we have.
Need a motion, Mr.
Yes,
Chair?
please.
I so move, we authorize the expenditure of up to $5,500.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, can somebody add that I can sign that?
But Brian had to
So we
run
can
his
get it.
magic pen over it. and it's completed.
And I'll,
Motion's been made and seconded to, spend up to $5,500 to install that guardrail, and Brian being able to sign for the, work.
Yeah, well, I'm certainly all in favor of doing it, but, it does say something about here, traffic control
Yeah,
by
I
the
was just
town.
gonna ask that.
We'll do the flagging when they install.
Okay.
You wanna do it?
We'll do it. They'll install that in probably a day. They're pretty quick.
Okay, so that,
So
we'll plan on doing that, so
we'll do the
5,500 is enough to
Yep.
cover it, but
Yeah,
if we had to pay the additional,
we
Yeah.
can do that.
yep.
Okay, any other discussion? All in favor, state aye.
Alright,
Opposed? So moved. So Decker Trail, I don't know how many people are even familiar with it. It's a road, used to be a road off 207, went down, and when they put the interstate in, they cut that road off from Route 7. 1992 was turned into a trail. That trail's being used by a few different people out there. I think when I was last on the board, we tried to give that up, but because there's 2 or 3 landowners, we didn't. There's a culvert on there that, it's about a 24-inch metal culvert, about 20 feet long. The bottom of it's all rotted. What's brought this to our attention is the contractor for Velco. They've come in and they put a large amount of stone on this trail. And they actually put wood over this culvert to make it passable. But at some point, I think we should fix that. We should decide whether we're gonna fix that or not. It is a trail, but we have farmers that use that. Somebody has a cabin out there. At some point that needs to be repaired, and I just don't know how the board's comfortable or not, because it's not an actual road. It's not just something we're gonna go up and do unless the board says it's okay to do it. Probably take a couple of our guys half a day to fix it.
Who
We just want,
owns the trail now?
we own the trail.
We own the trail.
What we did is we changed it from a class 4 road to a trail.
we might be obligated for culverts.
I was just gonna ask, well, if we didn't put a culvert in, would it negatively impact the lands around that might drain through that culvert? Okay.
If that eventually fails, it will definitely back it up on the north side of the trail and impact the landowners on that side,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah.
Can I say something?
Yes.
Double check with Kevin, because I'm pretty sure the Velco people told him they would buy all the supplies if the town guys would do it, because the
I
town doesn't have to go through act whatever they would.
Yeah,
understand all that. Velco has put all this stone above it and this wood over it. Kevin and I wrote it today. We're not gonna touch it right now.
no,
If Velco wants to, couple pieces of the wood, they didn't put enough material on the side, and you can see where it slipped a bit. This would be something we would touch later. I'm gonna talk with a guy from Velco tomorrow, and if he's got a big piece of machinery and he's concerned, drive it along the Velco right away and get to a different access point. I had this put on here thinking it was really urgent. Kevin and I went up there today. It's just something we would put on the list and get it fixed at some point.
yeah, until they got doing done their work, I wouldn't do anything.
No, they've added like
Yeah.
another 2-3 feet of
Yeah.
stone and all, we'd have to move all that wood,
Yeah.
it would turn into a 2 or 3 day project for us.
And then they're gonna be still running, are they still running through there on a
Oh,
regular
yeah,
basis?
they haven't got the post up yet.
Yeah, so they got some pretty heavy equipment, so
Yeah.
I wouldn't touch a thing until they were out of there.
Right, I'm gonna talk to him.
But if you can get the culvert for free, go ahead.
At that point, I don't think he's gonna wanna give it to us.
They're the ones that asked for this.
He came, over to the rec department when we were working last week on the site and he was pumped up a little bit. It's a contractor, but
Yeah.
I think I can have a conversation with him tomorrow. There's things he can do to make
Yeah.
it so he's comfortable and we leave it at. He said there was a farmer all concerned. Right now, you could put a pretty heavy piece of equipment across there if you're careful.
Yeah.
And it's something if the board's okay with it, we'll fix it later. It's not in an imminent situation where it's gonna fail,
I'm assuming later is probably maybe next year,
like in the spring.
in the
or something.
spring, yeah.
After, and we'll see, I think they'll be done, the Velco contract, I'm quite sure will be done later this fall, but,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think that makes sense.
So for
Yeah.
consensus is it's okay to
Yeah,
change that at the right time, okay. Old Town Business, land swap.
Well, really nothing, well, I do have something new to report. Apparently, our attorney was getting frustrated too, and they hadn't heard anything back from Mr. Bugby's office. They also said that they were waiting, they knew that they would be waiting for this partial discharge from Yankee Farm Credit, and our attorney said that they know that they can be absolutely terrible to deal with for such matters. But today, yesterday, they received word that they had heard back from the paralegal that works in Mr. Bugby's office, and she said that Mr. Rowell had not brought this matter to their attention at all. So they're reaching out to see just what the story is. Now, I don't know if something got miscommunicated between Mr. Bugby and his paralegal, but that is where it stands. So it appears that maybe Mr. Rowell didn't speak to them about this, but I find that hard to believe because we've had conversations. You know, I thought the attorneys were all talking with each other way back. This has been going on for a year and a half. by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Well, whose attorney would have brought that up? It would have been,
If it's a partial discharge, it'd have to be the attorney for the Rowells.
Right,
Has
it
a
would be,
name on the property.
right, it would be Bugby that would be dealing with that, and then.
At the instruction of the Rowells.
Right, right.
it shouldn't be a real big deal because he's gonna add some additional acreage. Not a lot, but
Right.
he's gonna end up with more than he had before.
But I don't know if it's that so much as Mr. Rowell just didn't tell him what he was planning to do. From that's the way I read that, is that, she said that Brian Rowell had not brought this matter to their attention. So I don't know if that matter being the partial discharge, that could be.
Well, I hope so.
We need to have the conversation with Mr. Rowell.
Yeah.
Well, that's where it gets dicey, because if he's being represented by an attorney, and then, I suppose there's nothing stopping us from talking with him.
That's what I mean, one of us needs to converse with him and find out if we're moving ahead with this
I
or not.
can give him a call tomorrow morning and say, what's going on here? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what we would want him to do is make sure he's talking with his attorney
And that they know what they need.
and that they know what they need and they're progressing. 'Cause we're going months and months here, we haven't made any progress.
So, okay.
Is everyone okay with that? I mean, I didn't.
I'm okay with it. I
Yeah.
understand the partial releases and all that stuff, it can take time.
Right.
But this is what, 2 years now? We've been screwing
A
around
good
this
year
thing?
and a half.
Yeah.
Year and a half.
Well,
I'm almost to a point, we say, we're gonna call the whole thing off. I'm serious. It just drags and drags and drags. We're incurring additional legal fees, and it's just stagnant. So that's my feeling at some point, that, okay, deal's off.
Send us an email after you have the
Yep.
conversation with them and,
Yep.
you know, we need to see, yeah.
And be diplomatic, you know,
Oh,
I mean,
no.
you know, just say, that, you know, time has gone by, now we need to
Yeah,
try to move
this-
forward.
We got this email,
So-
so confusing, what,
Yeah,
who's waiting on who.
yeah.
Yeah.
Try to get it done.
Okay. Next item is the update on the Old Town Garage site on Fourth Street. I didn't bring in, I thought it might be attached to this, the email. Atlas has sent the report, the
Yeah.
draft report to the state.
Yeah.
The bottom line is if the state agrees, so it just got sent to the state like last Friday.
Last Friday.
We had a phone call with them on Wednesday.
I didn't see that, huh?
The draft report,
No.
we can
Yeah.
send it to you. The bottom line is about 2/3 of that property, if the state's in agreement, either needs to have so much material removed and hauled away to a landfill, or 18 inches of material put on top of it. The other thing, and talking with Atlas, it's like, give us an estimate to do it. There was a 55-gallon drum put in the ground with some pipe in, and there's the old floor drain. Believe it or not, it needs to be dug up and tested. So that's the other thing that it's in this report. It's like,
So
get us the price to do that so that we can get that done before next spring, because it's gonna take the state at least 30 days to say they're okay with either removing material or covering it, but we have to pay Atlas or another engineering firm to write that all up as a work plan for the state to approve the work plan. Right now, they're just gonna approve the testing results, and then we have to write this plan on what we're gonna do to actually clean it up and get the state to buy off on it.
So, what, 2/3 of the entire lot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a lot of, 18 inches?
Yeah.
That's a lot,
That's a lot of material.
that's a
I
lot
mean,
of
it's,
fuel,
but,
yeah.
but it's not a big lot.
No, but still,
Yeah.
it's not gonna be a cheap endeavor.
It is not. The one thing,
And then
the
where you
one
go-
thing, like the parking area that we showed, if we pave that, we don't have to put 18 inches of material on it.
Okay,
that
so,
could-
where are you gonna be able to dump it?
At a landfill,
And, so all the way to Coventry?
possibly, yeah.
Oof.
Yeah, it's,
You have a lot cheaper to pay the whole lot.
yeah, that's an option. Put a bunch of courts there or something.
Is there a certain area that doesn't have to be touched?
Yeah, he made it sound pretty rosy until you look at the triangular shape. There is a fair amount of the western triangle that doesn't need it, but that's the least of the property.
Because it's depending on how you're gonna redevelop it, is gonna decide what kind of cleanup's probably the most
That's-
cost effective.
We need to decide, and they put in the plan, what we're gonna use that property for.
Yep.
Cause that's what the state,
Yep.
let's say we tried to change that right now to sell it for apartments,
Yeah.
then that
Yeah.
involves other testing
Yeah,
and,
But we need to know what, what we can get away without doing anything on. I'd like to see a picture of it on the lot.
yeah, we can,
Yeah.
we just forward the draft
We'll throw it in
report right now and the
documents.
maps right in there and it shows the
Yeah.
red and you can see, yeah.
So,
But will the email come in color?
yeah, I'll
Yeah,
have
it
to scan it.
Oh. did you
Well,
get
the
it?
email, if you
Well,
attach
the
it,
email,
if you
yeah,
attach it,
I'll
it'll be
attach
color, the
it.
report will be
We'll
color.
attach it, it's a PDF.
Okay.
And, it's 382 pages, just to let you know.
How many?
Well, I really
About
only,
380.
380 pages?
It's got all the test results. And really, there's an executive
Just give us a
summary in the
summary,
beginning.
Just
Yeah,
And I think the other thing too to take under consideration here is because we basically have all agreed that we keep that property so it would be part of the recreation department, the recreation commission should be involved in future plans of that property.
Correct, and they
And
were
then
at the
there-
time,
Yeah.
the decision was to put this, small fields on there.
So, you know, that's why you should really have a map with the lot that says, okay, this section right over here, you don't have to do anything with it. This over here, and if paving, you know, if you were gonna do some courts or something like that, you know, how much could we get done that way to reduce the total cost? And not touch the area that doesn't need to be touched and use that for some other use. Either, could you come up with that kind of plan?
Good, again, it's a small area, so, yeah, we need the state to buy off on that report.
Yes.
And and he said at least 30 days, the state buys off on that report, then we sit down and say, here are some of the options. The state, if they don't buy off on the report, then we're wasting our time coming up with different options.
Well, I don't see why they wouldn't buy in on it. I mean, that's quite a change. 18 inches.
And our guys can't haul it. You have to be, well, maybe they can, but they have to be a certified hauler.
Right. Certified waste hauler.
Waste hauler.
And you'd want tandem trailers anyway.
Yeah.
Instead of
something like
instead of
that.
the dump truck, but.
I could run into $1 million.
Yeah.
Well,
pave it for a lot less than $1 million. Pave it, put, anyway.
But I think that, you know, Brian, if you could get something ready for our next meeting, just the overview of the lot.
Well, I can send you the whole thing,
Yeah.
and I'll pull out pages. And
Yeah, because I'm more interested, it's, you know, in the lot itself and what, if you're gonna have future use there, hey, this is what we do, you know, would make the most sense.
Yeah.
From a cost standpoint.
Might be cheaper to put they make a porous pavement that actually lets water drain
Really?
through. Pave it all with that and then just put 6 inches of material on it.
Well, I don't know.
We'll see. We'll see. That's another one that progresses at the.
Yeah.
Very,
Now we know how frustrated the village was down from property.
No.
Yeah.
The old grid, and the old grid, they're going through the same thing.
Yeah. Next item of business is set the 2025 tax rate.
Hey, Christina, I think when I signed all of the orders, I may have attached the copy that you guys gave me for that, maybe.
Oh, I can actually just pass that one down.
I think I got it attached. Thank you.
Well, I'll make the motion to approve the tax rate to start the discussion.
Or a second?
Second.
Based on, and the rate for residential rate would be 2.0292. And the non-residential rate, this is for 2025, would be 2.3241.
Okay, motion's been made. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion made and seconded, and now we open up discussion. Kathy, you've got the increase, decrease figures, if you wanna share them with us?
So comparing the
I don't know.
2025 general fund to the 2024, there's a 0.0146 increase. On the highway fund, it was 0.293 decrease. So the overall total of the last year, 2024 and the 2025 amount on the total is a 0.0147 decrease. The residential tax rate between last year and this year, last year it was 1.5162, this year it's 1.4679. Its initial decrease of 0.0483. The non-residential rate for last year was 1.7612, this year it's 1.7628 for a 0.0016 increase. So the educational residential rate for the residential had a 3.01% decrease. The non-residential education rate had a 0.09 decrease. Yes. And then, oh no, that should be an increase, 1.228, so that's a 0.09 increase, sorry. So overall, the tax rate for the residential rate had a 3.01% decrease, and the non-residential had an overall of 0.56% increase.
Kathy, did we have any change in our grand list? How did you,
Yeah, the grand list helped, it went up, let's grab last year's number over this year's number.
Yeah.
It did go up probably,
Lost $1 million in the product.
well, we had, there's some, a lot of adjustments were done, like Green Mountain Power, correct? They reassessed, they hired someone to reassess the electric company, and we lost $1 million off our grand list by that adjustment. But our grand list probably increased, I can tell you,
Was that loss? With the loss included, it still increased?
it still increased.
No, that's not bad.
Yeah, I'll tell you how much it was. I had it to bring up and I looked it on my desk.
So the actual state education rate for residential went down?
Yep. Yeah,
That's
didn't we-
shocking,
didn't they buy it down though?
probably.
Yeah. It wasn't that it cost us less to operate, they bought it down.
Makes you wonder what next year will be like. Especially with all the other federal money being pulled back and stuff.
Yeah. So we probably better not spend all the extra highway money. We might need it next year.
Well, we're gonna put as much as we can, I mean, toward that, culvert replacement up on Berry Road.
When you did the bids, who bid, you get a lot of people saying, who bid on it? You know, nobody's,
Bids are due Friday,
Friday.
so we don't know yet.
and are you doing the whole road, right?
We're gonna do the little section of Reynolds Road and Swan Hill, one
Yeah.
into the other,
Okay, yeah, that little section of Reynolds, yeah.
yeah.
So it'll be done up there. Cause some of it needs just the last coat.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The Swanton Hill never had the top coat
Right.
put on it.
yeah, that's what it
How long is that, Joe?
It's less than a mile.
Okay. I was just curious.
Yeah, it's slightly less than a mile. Right now, I'm estimating around $90,000 to pave it.
I wanted to go up there, but I think you mentioned that the road was in disrepair because they're doing some repair work up there. It was like a cardboard corduroy road.
Oh, the Reynolds Road's dirt road, they did grade it, so it was much better. I went up last Friday, it was much better than, the last few days our guys were trucking. Fairfield had graded it, so it was much better, cause it was very washboardy, you know. And a nice vehicle, it wasn't too bad, yeah. But you can't go up the French Hill
Right.
side, they're putting in a big culvert apparently,
Yeah.
St. Albans, so that's been closed for a while.
Yeah. In fact, we just called on it and checked the other day. Christina did, just out of curiosity. No, it's still closed.
You want both of them? 787.
What did it say this year?
9737 011.
So it went up 106,000.
It's actually-
What's that?
It went up 106,000, so really,
No,
The
this
grand
is-
list
this
went
is-
up 106,000.
No, this is millions. You have to add 2 zeros to this number.
Yeah, it's gotta be more than that.
It's a hundred.
That's a couple garages.
So the overall grand list for the town and the village
okay, so you moved it up.
went from 741 million to 730 million to 741 million.
And that includes the 2 million or a million we lost on Green Mountain Power.
Yes, and the
That's
town, the
$11
village had
million.
167 million, they have 168 million now. And we had this year, 573 million. And they have, and now last year we had 563 million.
So we went up by 11 million, Kathy. That helps.
That's tax free.
Yeah.
Plus, I mean, it helped Plus we
And it
had,
does help, because the rates, that went up, and then we did lose some for the Green Mountain Power. And so, it kinda helped, because it's,
yeah, I mean, but I
Higher
mean,
grand list,
everybody's
lower
tried
tax
hard
rate.
on the budgeting end of things to keep expenses down. So you take that with the increase in the grand list, that comes out to our favor for a change.
Yeah, and the tax rate about even to what it was last year, a little bit slightly less. I mean, nobody's really still gonna complain because it was too high last year, but at least it didn't go up.
Well, that's our job, and that's good.
So, quick question on the residential education, it says 3.1 decrease, and non-residential, 0.09 increase. But then down below, the overall is 0.56 increase.
that's concluding the budget. That's the whole tax rate.
Right, it's got the general
Right,
and
because
the
some,
town.
because the education, the town residential went from 1.56 to 1.4679. So that had a pretty good, that was a fairly decent decrease, and then the non-residential rate went up 0.0016.
The education rate went down,
For the residential,
yeah.
but non-residential it went up slightly.
Non-residential went up slightly, but then when you add
I know.
our others, I would think it would be less than a 0.56. That's the only thing that number just doesn't seem right to me.
Right.
And I may be missing it, but it would be the it would be the 2.3, right? The 2.337,
It's gonna be the
2.341,
Oh, yeah.
2.
The two,
3,
for
4,
non-residential, you're gonna take the 2.3241 and minus the 2.3373,
Yeah,
and then divide that by the 2.3373, and then multiply that by 100. Or move your two decimal places.
yeah, it's
over.
0.158.
What number you're looking at, Phil?
The non-residential overall, I think it's 0.1. You can quickly do that, but I think it should be a lot closer to the 0.09.
That's what we thought too, Russ.
What's that?
That's what, or Christine and I were doing the numbers together, and I kept saying, it doesn't seem right, it doesn't seem right. So, 2, Right, it doesn't come there. 2, minus 2. I got the same number.
What's that?
I got my same number.
You did? Okay.
But, if you're looking at the combined, general and highway from 2024 was 0.5760, and in 2025 it's 0.5613, so the municipal side went down by over a cent, right?
Because, well, the general fund went up, and the highway fund went down.
Yeah, but I'm looking at the bottom line that people have to
Yeah.
pay, so from a
Yeah, it was
municipality
0.5760
standpoint.
to
Right.
0.5613, correct?
Yeah,
It
it's
was
a little-
0.0147 decrease in
Yeah.
the rate.
Yeah, so that
Not
actually,
percentage, that's just the rate.
right,
So the and I don't mean to beat the dead horse here,
Yep.
but the non-residential overall, 2.3241.
Yeah.
Maybe I think 2.3241.
I know, I did it like.
Minus 2.3373. Yep, I punched in a number. Sorry to hold everybody.
Sorry.
So these numbers are okay.
okay.
Yeah, yep. Any other discussion?
No, I just, you know, I mean,
This is a big deal,
this is a big deal, you know?
and everybody should be pretty darn pleased with their efforts and, taxpayers, you know, it's not a, not a big deal, other than we didn't have a significant increase, so that's good. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, so moved. Community and Economic Development, Swanton promotion update.
We'll be meeting tomorrow actually at 10:30 here by Zoom with, Eco Control. We're gonna start putting that business page together and start taking a look at what photos we got.
She asked me to put the date, so I did.
Oh, okay, 8/19.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, 10:30. We're gonna try to get something done on that brochure too here pretty quick. I wanted to have some thoughts on that.
Perfect.
And I'm hoping Susie's gonna be here tomorrow because, you know, I did.
She said she would be. I seen her the other day. She said I'll see you
Yeah.
Wednesday, so she'll be here tomorrow.
Okay, all right, yeah, we, you know, I'd like to talk about bikes and, you know, what about where we're gonna park the bikes?
We can talk about all
Yeah.
that tomorrow.
Anything else on the Swanton promotion?
And
From
just to
Swanton.
add to the board, I did, as I said, I was gonna talk with the Hudaks. I didn't actually talk with both of them, but I did talk with Marie and, you know, she didn't have an issue really. She said, yeah, we can, it's, you know, if you have to go on their property, so that's one old landowner if you could work with. I don't know if you found anything out from
I
the
have
state.
not found out anything of it. They have nothing on their website. They have no permits for it. And they said to contact the district office, so I'm calling them to find out what's going on.
Yeah, you know, if we're gonna try to do something before winter,
Yeah.
we're gonna need to know pretty soon.
I would reach out to Tractor Supply about Highgate Road, see if they would be willing to put one on theirs or near it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be the best.
Aren't you gonna want it on the other side of the road?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because the cars are
Yeah.
yeah, maybe it was.
driving into Swanton on the northbound side.
Yeah.
And I would think with the state garage right in that area,
That could work.
yeah, you don't want it on that side of the road.
Yeah, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
you have to probably switch over to Andy's.
Guys not going slow enough to read it?
Well, Handy's would
Put her right in the
be,
middle of the intersection.
Yeah, slow them
Walk up
down,
to
yeah.
Swanton. Split the wheel.
That'll slow them down.
Handy's would be mostly in St. Albans.
Yeah,
but
it would be, yeah.
Yeah, but they might own a sliver in Swan.
Yeah, I don't know, yeah.
I would think the town, I mean, not town, but the state's got the property right there. Might be able to just talk with them. If it's a right of way issue, then they still have the property just on the other side of the right of way.
Put it in my yard.
Okay. Anything else, Earl?
Nope. Unless you wanna add something, Nicole?
Nope, but you need to sign that investor.
Okay, I had Brian put any other necessary business, next meeting on September 2nd. We talked about general highway rec budgets. We all need to have them before the meeting, so we get a chance to take a look at them. And then, are we ready to talk the road on Maple Grove Estates? What happened last meeting was out of control. Very frustrating. And it turned more into a public hearing and a discussion with, which even our road takeover policy says either the road owner or the HOA. In this case, there's not an HOA established yet. But are we ready to move forward and make a decision on Maple Grove Estate Road? Do we bring it up as an agenda item next meeting, or do we hold off? And I just need people to decide what they think.
Well, I don't think there's any benefit from holding off. You know, we're gonna have to make a decision. There are certainly a few things in there that, obviously, for sure, I think they were let on in the beginning, and, that road was gonna be taken over. That engineer seems to be very comfortable with the fact that it was built to standards, even though the core samples say no.
Yeah, and I don't wanna get into all the
Yeah.
discussion tonight. I
No,
just
I
wanna know
know,
whether we as a
Yeah.
board,
I agree.
and if people got other questions about roads, what they're looking at, I sent a summary.
That was
Um,
very useful, by the way.
And if there's something in there that needs explaining, cause I work with that stuff for quite a bit of my career, but others may not, be as familiar with it. If someone's got questions, I'll be glad to walk you through the information, but again, if we think we're ready, we're gonna put it on the agenda. If we're not, I don't wanna put it on the agenda.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind a half an hour or an hour presentation by you to make sure we all understand what we're looking at. I'm not an engineer, but I'd like to have a little more input from you.
Okay.
I read it over, it's pretty clear. I know what my position is, but in case I missed something, you know, if we could sit down for 20, 30 minutes, or I could just do it with you privately. I wanna make sure that I grasp everything that's in that report.
Okay. Nick, any thoughts?
The only thing I'm thinking about is whether we should hold an official public hearing on it and just let people.
Yeah,
But we don't- yeah,
I'm
I don't know.
100% against the public hearing.
Yeah, I can understand. I can understand.
We develop policies to guide us, and we
Yeah.
have a policy. I think it's a good policy, it was well-written, I think it's easy to understand, so let's move forward based on our policy. It's pretty simple.
And the unfortunate about the last meeting, it's one thing to have a public hearing to take information in. There was not an understanding of, or even a discussion of what the basics requirements were before it just got totally out of hand and gained nothing of something that is fairly straightforward.
Yep.
I was ready to vote after the meeting, so I wouldn't, you could just hold a vote. But yeah, if Steve wants more information, I'm not against
Well,
that.
I'll be glad to walk you through it. We can set up a
We'll
time.
just meet somewhere, I don't
Yep.
care, just so I make
We'll
sure I
go
understand.
have a coffee and
Sure,
and we'll go over
Yep.
that and,
you it have to be coffee?
no, it doesn't.
Can we meet at the restaurant?
We can. Nicole,
I'm ready to put it back on the agenda.
Yeah.
Earl?
Yep.
Okay.
What's that?
Absolutely.
And then, correspondence, speaking of that meeting, we all got this email. And, I don't know folks' thoughts about it, but. What I would one thing I want the board to understand is last year we agreed to certain conditions for taking over the road. So as part of getting the borings, Kevin and I went up there. And Kevin could tell you what took place up there, and it wasn't very pretty up there either. And trying to get some basic information and have some dialogue, and then it got turned over to where I was just talking with the engineers there, and we started making a way forward. But I even called Kevin after and asked him whether I was out of line, because there was just this constant you, and it's like, I went up there to try to help find the way forward, but here's this email, and it is correspondence to us, so I don't know if the board wants to do something, wants me to step down as chairman or something, and I'm open to anything at this point, but I do not personally want to answer this email. We as a board probably might say something or acknowledge it, but
I think we should just acknowledge receipt. What do we do with emails that come in now, or letters or correspondence? We just acknowledge that we received them?
Yeah, this is, well, first of all, this was addressed to me, and I get a little confused with that because the board doesn't report to me, it's just the other way around, but that's okay.
well, it's the board and the select board.
Well, I was copied to the board.
No, it says Dear Town and Swanton Administrator and Select Board members, so I read it as it's to all of us.
Okay, well, then I thought it came in as copy, but in any case.
Oh, that's the way the address line is, yes, okay.
So,
glad it's
but,
here.
you know, I would normally answer it, if anything that's addressed to me, I would answer. But in this, involving this, I'm waiting direction from the board. I don't mind answering, saying we thank you and we acknowledge your letter, and it's so noted. I mean.
Yeah, you can say you presented to the board and, you know, the board, is aware of the letter and appreciate, take your, you know, your opinion under consideration, you know.
I just don't wanna get involved in any further exchange.
No, not with that tone,
We
no.
so noted.
And as far as conduct of the meeting, we operate under Robert's Rules of Order. That's established right in the first organizational meeting, so. that's-
Yeah, I agree, just a generic receipt would
Yeah.
probably be fine.
Yep, I can do that.
You got that?
Yep.
Then another correspondence Earl just handed out. Dated August 18th, 2025. From Fieldstone Land Consultants out of Milford, New Hampshire, sent to Mr. Bud Heeman. I can't say 100% looking at this yet, but the verbiage here looks pretty much the same as that letter that was discussed in the meeting, where things appear to, and we believe.
It's not conclusive.
So I don't see anything really new here, but it is a
With
correspondence.
the exception of the last paragraph, because now the roadway, when inspected, meets or exceeds the applicable local and state standards. There's no more appears. The appear is gone.
Except it says right in front, from our inspections, we believe
Yeah.
The construction.
in general conformance, so I mean,
He's
it,
contradicting himself.
yeah. This will be part of the,
Who is this gentleman, Mr.
He's the
Fieldstone,
one,
he
he's
worked for
their
Bud?
engineer.
He was their engineer,
He
one
was
of their
Bud's engineer.
engineers.
Yeah.
We've had three.
You how many?
I believe I've counted three different engineers in the mix here, so.
For that roadway?
yeah, this is not the gentleman I met with up on site, Peter Mazurek, who's more
Right.
local, and
then
he's the one.
Then the original, there's another engineer, Trudell, is it? So it's in the files, I noticed. They've had a total of three engineers on that road, so.
Okay, well, that's correspondence and that can be,
Acknowledge receipt?
yeah.
And yeah, I just got one thing to add. I should have said this at the beginning of the meeting. I attended the rec meeting yesterday, and they stated that the tractor was paid, and then, no, you and Joel know, they stated the tractor was paid off on August 15th, $4,000. I imagine we can probably get more into that at a future meeting when we discuss their quarterly budget stuff. But yeah, the
It
tractor,
was paid,
it was paid.
6 months. Thank you.
And that's a question that can be asked when we're getting the budget presented to us.
And I,
It will be.
Mr. Chair, if I may, the three of you have signed this letter. This is for Nicole and Earl to sign. These are the letters that we wanted sent out.
Regarding the Swan Pond.
Yeah, so.
Okay. Public comment.
Bob, you're it.
Upcoming events.
Thursday, August 28, 2025 will be a DRB meeting here at the town offices at 6 p.m. Friday, August 29th, 2025, town offices will be closed for cleaning. Monday, September 1st, 2025 will be the Labor Day holiday. Town offices and operations are closed. Tuesday, September 2nd will be the regular select board meeting here at the town offices at 6 p.m. And then Tuesday, September 9th will be a planning commission meeting at the town offices at 5 p.m.
Is the office being closed because of the cleaning, because of the painting?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and they're gonna do the carpet.
Oh, yeah, I did just.
Yeah. And it works out for them. And,
Yeah, sure.
yeah.
All right. Executive session.
No, I don't have it. And Christina and I are taking a.
Motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn at 7:34 p.m.
Second.
Motion been made second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, so moved.